This is KI0AR. Does anyone need to use the repeater systems before I begin this evening's Colorado Astronomy Net? Please go ahead now. Calling the Colorado Astronomy Net, calling the Colorado Astronomy Net. This is KI0AR. My name is Bernice, and I'll be your net control for this evening's Colorado Astronomy Net. Just a reminder, the 3-minute timeout function is still in effect, so during long transmissions, please allow the repeater systems to reset themselves. Also, please use the word break for emergency or prior to traffic. If there is any emergency or prior to traffic, please go ahead now. Okay, nothing heard. This is KI0AR net control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. This net meets every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, 0200 Zulu, on Wednesdays to discuss topics of an astronomical nature, what's up in the night skies for the week, any other special events that may be of interest to the amateur radio astronomy enthusiasts around the world. Also, this is one of the few nets where your check-in does count. I tally up the numbers and send them off to JPL at the end of each month. It counts as part of their outreach to the general public, of which we are a part. So all check-ins are definitely appreciated. I take check-ins several ways. If you have NetLogger, I'll see your call sign pop up in the AIM window and get you checked in that way. I am also on YouTube this evening, so if you happen to have YouTube, just look for the Colorado Astronomy Net and you can check in via that way. I'll see you pop up over there. If you do have a call sign, definitely say hey and put your call sign in the chat window. I take them over the air, of course, and I will take them via email for anyone that's out there listening that can't check in any other way. Or if I happen to miss you somewhere along the line, which I do apologize in advance for that, you can send me an email to ki0ar@ki0ar.com and just let me know you're out there listening to the net tonight. And that can be done anytime. You can even send it to me tomorrow if you want. Say, I heard the net last night, thought it was great, and check me in. So I can do that way too. With that, I am actually going to let the repeater systems reset and then acknowledge those that have checked in on NetLogger so far. Okay, those that have checked in via NetLogger, Dave, AF0AS, thanks for checking in tonight. Roy, KI7PKL, thanks for checking in tonight. Thomas, KN4EWT, thanks for checking in tonight. Moy, N5ZIQ, thanks for checking in tonight. David, WE8M, thanks for checking in tonight. Ken, NV7SS, thanks for checking in tonight. And Chad, KF0UUC, thanks for checking in tonight. I do appreciate you checking in that way. It makes it real easy to get your call signs correct. I don't see any activity over on YouTube, but if we've got any viewers over on YouTube, say hey in the chat window. Your check-in does count, so I do appreciate it. Not for YouTube, but for me personally, they do count for JPL. So if you don't have a call, that's fine too. A first name and a location would be great to see over there in YouTube. So welcome YouTube viewers tonight. All right, I'll go ahead and open up the net for check-ins. Anyone wishing to check in to tonight's Colorado Astronomy Net, please call with your call sign phonetically twice.
Kilo America 9, Oscar Mike Yankee. Kilo America 9, Oscar Yankee. Alpha Echo 7, Romeo Juliet. That's Alpha Echo 7, Romeo Juliet.
Okay, let's see. Let's see. K0 Golf something Romeo. I missed that something there letter, so I'm not exactly sure what it was. It was garbled both times I heard it. Do apologize for that, but if you could come back with the call sign again, Kilowatt 0 Golf something Romeo. Please repeat your call twice phonetically. I'll get you on the list. All right, I think I got that. Didn't hear any transmissions, but I look back. Mark, I think that was you in Longmont. K0, GLR, thanks for checking in tonight. Stephen, KA90MY, thanks for checking in tonight. Randall, AE7RJ, thanks for checking in tonight. Mike, KO5AOK over on YouTube, thanks for checking in tonight. Graham, MM1DEA over on YouTube as well, so thanks for that. And let's see, who else do I got? John S, W2JLS. Okay, we got you over there. I thought I saw, okay, Gary, Trevorly, listening in from Gary, Colorado, or whoever Traverly 59 is. If you've got a first name, if you post that, I'll get you on the list for sure. And then we got Simmer Jack over there. Let's see. Oh, Seth over in Texas. Thanks for checking in tonight. Seth, Simmerjack, do you have a call sign over there? Let's see. Learning until I get my text. So, okay, no, you're learning. You don't have a call yet. So, thanks for that, Seth. Thanks for that. I'll put you down. Checking in, and you're in Buda, Texas. All right. So thanks for that, guys. Do appreciate it. Let's see. Let me get some of this stuff here corrected, and I'll get back on the air in just a sec. Okay, there, I think I got it straight. There are a couple of new calls or new people over on the list over there on YouTube, I do believe. So welcome to the new check-ins to the Colorado Astronomy Net. Again, my name is Ernest. That's Bravo, Uniform, Romeo, November, Echo, Sierra, Sierra, and the call sign Kilowatt, India, Zero, Alpha, Romeo. I always like to touch base. Okay, I'd like to touch base with my first-time check-ins and find out a little bit more information from you guys. In particular, your interest, background in astronomy, whether you're just starting out and learning what's up in the night skies, or you've been doing it for decades like I have, or somewhere in between, amateur, professional, what have you. Always like to hear about the experience levels that I have on here. This is a learning net, so I learn something new every net. So, and I've been doing it for almost 30 years here. So, welcome to the new. Let's see, Trevorly 59 and Simmerjack. If you could post those, what your background interest in is in astronomy over there. Okay, Trevor, we got you there. Thanks for that. Let's see. Where am I going? All right, Dave, we got you over on YouTube only for now. So maybe you can hopefully fill us in on some of the Rocky Report stuff. If Ed was pressed for time today, so we'll go over that. And you can obviously add some more when we get to that point. But those of you who are over on YouTube, if you are new to the net, I would definitely like to hear what your interest, background in astronomy is. You can post that over there, and I'll let everybody know for sure. And we got John, KJ7AGQ over on YouTube as well, so thanks for that. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. I'll take check-ins over the air in just a bit. I want to go ahead and get the, all right, another one. There we go. Another one over on YouTube, KJ5MCI. Okay, KJ5MCI over in Buda, Texas as well. So thanks for that. Let's see, Simberjack working on his tech. So You'll get that eventually. I like planes and rockets. Have built a few here in high school. Cool. And just thought it was cool that we're here also. You betcha. Check-in is cool. You bet. Yeah, I just started check-in doing this on YouTube just this past summer. So this is still new to me too there. Seth over there. So I do appreciate you checking in tonight for sure. And yeah, Thomas, KJ5, MCI, same question to you. What's your interest background in is astronomy? We're getting a whole bunch of people on YouTube tonight, so thanks for that. KB9ORA, thanks for checking in tonight. All right, Trevor, got the ham radio, listening to one of your repeaters, okay, last week. And wanted to learn more about the night sky. Cool. All right, and that's what we're here for. So those of you who are over on, let's see, Konstantinos up in Chicago, KB9ORA, that's a new call on the list as well, so thanks for that. I'm just trying to update my database here. I do keep a running tab of all the check-ins, and like I say, I do post these numbers to JPL, so I do appreciate everyone's checking in. Konstantinos, if you could post in the chat window what your interest background in astronomy is, I'd love to hear it. Announcements in just a sec. All right, those of you who are over on YouTube, hopefully you will like the Colorado Astronomy Net here, so definitely push that like button, follow if you subscribe, that would be great. I'm rapidly approaching 100 subscriptions over there, so love to see break that little milestone over on YouTube. So I do appreciate everybody checking in tonight over the air. For those of you who do have your ham licenses and are not in the local Denver area, check out skyhublink.com, skyhublink.com for more ways to check into the Colorado Astronomy Net. Echolink, All-Star Node, DMR, whole bunch of ways you can, hotspots, all that kind of stuff, you can check in over the air. And I'd love to hear you over the air as well. So carry on. I publish a monthly astronomy newsletter via email and the World Wide Web. If you wish to subscribe to the email version of my newsletter, please send me an email to ki0ar@ki0ar.com and request to be put on the list. Or you may visit the website at www.ki0ar.com/astro.html. And at the top of the web page is also a spot where you may submit your email address and get subscribed to the email version of the newsletter as well. Well, if you don't want to remember all that, just Google my call sign, KI0AR. You'll find a whole bunch of links, including links to the web page and the newsletter. And we got from the Mad Geek up there, Konstantinos says, I know a little bit about astronomy and remember as a kid at night looking at the stars wherever I was. Oh, you betcha. We all do that. Hopefully we can interest you in some more stuff as well. In just a sec. Okay, Thomas, let's see. Background, semiconductor engineering, software development, and AI. Cool. Retired now and pursuing radio astronomy. Radio astronomy, among other interests. You betcha. Observer Ranch last summer. Cool. George, okay, I'll get you on the list up in Oregon. So thanks for that. Astrophotography. We got some astrophotographers on here as well there, George. So listen up for that. WB6YZZ, thanks for checking in tonight. Do appreciate that. That's a new call on the list as well, so thanks for that. All right, more announcements. I volunteer with a youth group called the International Association for Astronomical Studies. We're always looking for new members, freshmen through senior high school age students interested in astronomy, amateur radio, high power rocketry, remote control aircraft flying, full scale aircraft construction, archaeoastronomy, radio astronomy, and balloon launch communications. More than welcome to visit our website at www.iaas.org for more information. They meet out in Strasburg, Colorado on Friday evenings from 6 until 8 p.m. And all teens, or maybe even a little older than that, sometimes more than welcome to join us. We do have a call sign, K0AAS, and we try to monitor the Skyhub Link system on Friday evenings. And if we ever hear that, we'll pop over and say, hey. For those of I think we do have a teen soon to be amateur radio operator. We've got several of them over there. They love to talk about what they're doing over there. So take a look at the website. We're also on Facebook under the same name, the International Association for Astronomical Studies. Also a reminder that the Colorado Astronomy Net also has a Facebook page. So if you have Facebook, be sure to hop on there and like us both. For those of you who might be interested in flight simulations, you may want to check out Jack, KE0VH's YouTube channel, Captain Jack Flight Sim, CAPNJACKFLTSIM on Mondays and Wednesdays. He does a flight. Well, he's been working very hard this summer and has not been able to get on as much as he'd like, but he's got plenty of older flights that he's done. If you're interested in flight simming, he usually starts about 6:30 on 6:30 Mountain Time, Mondays and Wednesdays, and sometimes whenever he wants during the week. Always find his flights interesting. He does have other flight simmers as well as amateur radio operators getting on there and chatting on the YouTube channel. So we do have fun there. So check his site out for sure. And that's it for the announcements. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. And let's see. Constantinos, yeah, there we go. Worked in the mountains in Idaho and was able to admire how beautiful the stars were from atop the mountain at 9,407 feet. Oh, you betcha those high mountain observing get up above the smog and the fog and all that. Get for sure get on top of those mountains. But a little chilly though. All right, let me carry on. With the local astronomical news in just a sec. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. All right, Doug, we got you on the list. K0ATP. Thanks for checking in tonight. Still, if you've got NetLogger and you're out there, just pop on. I'll get you logged in. And anyone over on YouTube listening in tonight, if you don't have a call sign, that's fine. Name and city, state, that'd be great. I'll get you on the list as well. Your check-in does count, so I do appreciate that. I'll go ahead and get into the local astronomical news for this end of November. Start off as usual with the phases of the moon. We're wrapping up the phases of the moon for this morning. For this week, we had a new moon back on the 20th. We've got a first quarter moon coming up on the 28th. So if you've got clear skies, get out there and look at that crescent moon. Up in the early evening sky. Always interesting to look at the crescent moon, especially with binoculars or a telescope, and look along that line between light and dark. That's called the terminator. If you look along the terminator, you will see mountain peaks that are lit up by the sun that are in the shadows, and you'll see craters that are hidden in the darkness over on the light side. You can definitely get almost a 3D feel for the moon as you're looking along that terminator and see how rough that is. Not a smooth line going across the moon's surface there. It is definitely broken up and quite interesting, I should say. The moon was at perigee back on the 5th. That happened to be the night of the full moon, and that was a supermoon back then. It was the largest supermoon and brightest supermoon for 2025. That occurred back on November 5th. It was 221,726 miles from Earth. When the moon is at perigee and the moon is full, that's what makes it a full moon, when it is closest to the Earth at that point. The moon was at apogee, its farthest point away from the Earth this month, back on the 19th. It was 252,706 miles from Earth. Planetary highlights for November. Mercury switches from the evening to the morning sky this month. In fact, it's already done that. While the giant planets dominate the night, the moons of Jupiter and Saturn offer many events. Venus stars on early November mornings, but drops lower day by day. Excerpt is from Astronomy Magazine, November 2025, page 28. Mercury was at inferior conjunction back on the 20th, meaning that it was between us and the sun on that particular day. Mercury will be stationary on the 29th, meaning that it does not appear to move relative to the background skies. It does move through the sky, but relative to the background stars, it appears to move right along with them. Mercury has moved to the morning sky now and is rising about 5:24 a.m. by month's end. Mercury will be visible. It's going to be very difficult to spot Mercury in the early morning twilight glow for the rest of the month, but wait until the end of the month to see if you might. That gives it about 10 days to get up high. It is just barely above Venus, which is very, very low on the eastern horizon. It was this morning. So take a look for Venus and Mercury tomorrow morning. If you can see Venus, just look just a teeny bit above it. You might be able to see Mercury. So check that out. Mercury has moved into the constellation of Libra, shining at magnitude 0.2. So quick tutorial on magnitudes. The magnitude scale is an inverse logarithmic scale, meaning as the magnitude increases, the apparent brightness of an object decreases by a factor of about 2.5. The dimmest object that the human eye can see is about 6th magnitude. So any magnitudes greater than 6, you will need a telescope or binoculars to see. Any magnitudes less than 6, you should be able to see with the naked eye. So a magnitude 5 object is about 2.5 times brighter than a magnitude 6 object. The magnitude scale is set up so that every 5 magnitudes is a factor of about 100 times brightness, one way or another, either dimmer or brighter. Okay, we got Venus rising about 6:18 a.m. by month's end. Look for Venus to the east about an hour before sunrise. Venus moves from the constellation of Virgo into Libra. Right now it is in Libra again, shining at magnitude minus 3.9. Mars is setting about 5:10 p.m. by month's end. Look for Mars low to the west in the evening about 30 minutes after sunset. Mars moves from the constellation of Libra into Ophiuchus, shining at magnitude 1.5. Mars is going to be kind of difficult to spot in the evening sky. You'll definitely have to get out there very soon after sunset, and hopefully the evening twilight glow won't interfere too much. But it's going to be you'll definitely have to have a very clear western horizon to spot Mars. It'll be swinging around to be a morning object next month. Jupiter is rising about 7:42 p.m. by month's end. Look for Jupiter to the southeast in the evening, and then follow it across the night sky as it sets in the early morning hours before dawn. Jupiter is in the constellation of Gemini, shining at magnitude minus 2.4. Jupiter is getting better and better, rising earlier in the evening. So get out there, bundle up, and take a look for Jupiter towards the east and southeast later in the evening. We got Saturn. Saturn will be stationary on the 28th, meaning that it does not appear to move forward nor backward relative to the background skies as well. Saturn is now rising about 1:15 p.m. in the afternoon. Actually, it's going to rise a little bit later than that, for the next few days, but about 1:15 by month's end. Look for Saturn to the south in the evening, soon after sunset. Saturn is in the constellation of Aquarius, shining at magnitude 0.8. Uranus was at opposition on the 21st, rising as the sun sets. Uranus is now rising about 3:51 p.m. by month's end. Uranus is at its best and brightest for the year this month. Look for Uranus to the south in the evening. That's when it is a little bit higher up, and you won't have the twilight glow to interfere with it too much, but it is rising in the late afternoon. Uranus is in the constellation of Taurus, shining at magnitude 5.6, and Taurus is obviously one of the more famous constellations up there. Always neat to look at that. So give Taurus a little while to rise as well, and then look towards the south for Uranus in that constellation. It's actually fairly close to the Pleiades. It's just below the Pleiades, so it's going to be kind of a greenish or bluish green planet. It's going to be more green than blue, and it will look like a discernible disk And that goes for all of the planets. You'll actually see them as a discernible disk as opposed to a pinpoint of light like the stars. Mercury and Venus are kind of the exceptions. You won't see a full disk of either of those planets, but you may see them in crescent phase the farther away they get from the sun. So always interesting to see a crescent Venus or a crescent Mercury. And next we got Neptune. Neptune is rising about 1:15 p.m. in the afternoon this month, by month's end as well. So actually very close. It is actually rising about 5 minutes after Saturn. Look for Neptune to the south in the evening, just east, following Saturn by just a few minutes all month. Neptune is in the constellation of Pisces, shining at magnitude 7.7. So, Neptune is a full 7 magnitudes dimmer than Saturn. So, we're talking about 120 times or thereabouts. So 2.5 to the 7th times dimmer. So you'll have to work on that one for sure. But because both those planets are very, very close together, we'll make it a little easier to see if you can spot Neptune, at least through a telescope. Maybe through binoculars, but you'll have to have some very, very dark skies. And with the moon rising and approaching that particular area of sky might make it a little more difficult. For our dwarf planets, we got Ceres. Ceres will be stationary on the 27th. Ceres is now rising about 2:15 p.m. by month's end. Ceres can be spotted low to the south, just below and east of Saturn and Neptune. Ceres is in the constellation of Cetus, shining at magnitude 8.3. This one, of course, is going to be very difficult to spot unless you've got some very dark skies. Then we got Pluto. Pluto is actually setting about 8:15 p.m. by month's end. The best time to spot Pluto will be in the early evening when it is highest in the sky to the southwest. Pluto is in the constellation of Capricornus, shining at magnitude 15.3. As always, good luck at spotting Neptune, Ceres, and Pluto. A large telescope and dark skies will be needed. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Did see another check-in over on YouTube there. Try Jet Cap. Okay. There you go. If I could get a first name and a city, state where you're at, I'd certainly appreciate that. If you got a call sign, that's even better. So welcome to the net. I think that might be a new call as well. So thanks for everybody over on YouTube. Definitely give me a like if you like it. I hope you do. All right, continuing on, we got meteor showers. We have just wrapped up the Leonids. The duration of this shower covers the period of November 14th through the 20th. Maximum occurred back on the 17th. We may still have some of those flying through the skies, but not too many. Don't expect too much for the rest of the month. But if you're out there underneath the dark skies, looking up, you might see a meteor or two streak through the skies. Maybe not necessarily associated with any other meteor shower, but hopefully you will, that's for sure. Comets, we got Comet C 2025 A6 Lemon is passing through the constellation of Ophiuchus low to the west. This is going to be another difficult one to spot. By the end of the month, it may be too low and lost in the evening twilight glow. Comet Lemon was visible for a while, but might have dimmed to about 7th magnitude by month's end. So look for Comet Lemon early in the month. Okay, we missed that. You might be able to still see that. 3 to 4 inch scope or greater in dark skies will still be needed to see any details. We have a little bit dimmer comet, Comet Swan, C2025 R2 Swan, is passing through the constellations of Aquarius and now into Pisces by month's end, and it has dimmed to about 10th magnitude. Comet Swan is actually fairly close to Saturn and Neptune. So under dark sky conditions, it shouldn't be too hard. But at 10th magnitude, you're pushing the limits even of an 8-inch scope at that point. So that's going to be a little more difficult to spot for that. I did post in the newsletter and also on the website newsletter a little diagram of where Comet Swan is relative to Neptune and Saturn. And that's it for the local astronomical news. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. We got us, let's see, over on NetLogger. Oh, okay, Doug. Okay, yeah, you're on the list, Doug. I didn't know what the trijet cap was. There you go. So appreciate that. You're number 20 on the list there, Doug. So I got you there. We've got a soft shortwave listener out there listening in on NetLogger. If I could get a first name and a location over there so I can identify you there, I'd certainly appreciate that. So just post over in the AIM window. Appreciate that. And we got VA3NFG check in. Steve, let's see, that's a new call on the list. So welcome there, Steve. I do appreciate you checking in via NetLogger. And we got Mike, KL7FR. Thanks for checking in tonight up in Alaska. Good to see you on the net tonight, Mike. Appreciate that. Steve, welcome to the net. My name is Bernice. That's Bravo, Uniform, Romeo, November, Echo, Sierra, Sierra, Kilowatt, India, 0, Alpha, Romeo is the call. Always like to touch base with my first-time check-ins and welcome them properly and find out a little bit more about your interest, background in astronomy. That goes for all new check-ins, whether you're on listening over the air or over on YouTube. Steve, if you could tell us a little bit about your interest, background in astronomy, whether you're starting out or you've been doing it for decades, somewhere in between. Certainly love to hear it. VA3NFG. Steve, please go ahead.
Well, on this year, I have no particular interest in astronomy. I find it very unique topic of conversation. I'm located up here in Canada, so when I was a kid, as I think most of us probably did at one time or another, but I do it's fascinating to know that where you came from out there. So I'm just wrestling along here that on with opera judges for the next
All right, Steve, thanks for that. Yep, this is a learning net for sure. And we've got all levels of here. Yeah, I found it very interesting as well to be able to combine two of my love interests, hobbies, I should say, astronomy and amateur radio. It seems kind of weird combining a visual hobby with an auditory hobby, but I've been doing it for almost 30 years, so I guess it works. And we got a lot of great people here talking about astronomy and what they're looking up at the skies as well. So thanks for that. And again, welcome. Hopefully you can stick around. Hopefully everybody can stick around as well. So I do appreciate that. I'm going to go ahead and get into the bulletins for this evening. For those of you who are interested in ISS passes, you may want to check out this particular website, that's mine, www.heavens-above.com. That's www.heavens-above.com. I just posted that over on YouTube. I do recommend you enter in your home coordinates. If you look at the upper right hand corner, you'll see my I've logged in there and got my home coordinates logged in there. You get a much better, more accurate timing and location for ISS passes. The one thing I like about this particular website is I can click on a particular pass and I'll see a nice, decent what am I looking for? A star chart that I can easily print out on a nice 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. If you're used to star charts, you'll understand how this works. But it shows me the path of the ISS through the evening sky. This is a particular decent pass coming up for November 30th over the Denver area. And it's let's see, we'll go back, but you can see what constellations it passes through, just through Ursa Minor, between Perseus and Cassiopeia, on down towards the east. But like I said, it'll give you passes of the ISS for all passes. It gives you a whole string of passes for 10 days. Or just the visible only for those of you who are just interested in visible passes as well. So interesting website to take a look at. It's got a whole lot more than just ISS passes, but it also has excuse me. Also had got a little frog in my throat. It's got a whole lot more just besides the ISS. It's got the Tiangong. It's got amateur radio satellites, some astronomy information, deep space missions, all that kind of stuff. And you can actually download this. You can get an Android app for that as well if you have Androids. But definitely lots of good information on this particular website. Again, www.heavens-above.com. And that's it for that bulletin. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. All right, JPL is finally at least back up to posting some bulletins for me to share with you guys. I've had to dig for them for the last month or so with the government shutdown. JPL was affected by that as well. But they're finally back up to posting some bulletins for me to share with you guys. This one dated November 25th, that's today. From JPL, NASA orbiter shines new light on long-running Martian mystery. Results from an enhanced radar technique have demonstrated improvement to subsurface observations of Mars. NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, or MRO, has revisited and raised new questions about a mysterious feature buried beneath thousands of feet of ice at the red planet's south pole. In a recent study, researchers conclude from data obtained using an innovative radar technique that an area on Mars suspected of being an underground lake is more likely to be a layer of rock and dust. The 2018 discovery of the suspected lake set off a flurry of scientific activity as water is closely linked with life in the solar system. While the latest findings indicate this feature is not a lake below the Martian surface, it does suggest that the same radar technique could be used to check for subsurface resources elsewhere on Mars, supporting future explorers. The paper, published in Geophysical Research Letters on November 17th, was led by two of MRO's shallow radar, or SHARAD, instrument scientists, Gareth Morgan and Van Putzig, who are based at the Planetary Science Institute in Tucson, Arizona, and Lakewood, Colorado, respectively. The observations were made by MRO with a special maneuver that rolls the spacecraft 120 degrees. Doing so enhances the power of the SHARAD, enabling the radar's signal to penetrate deeper underground and provide a clearer image of the surface. These very large rolls have proved so effective that scientists are eager to use them at previously observed sites where buried ice might exist. Morgan, Putzig, and fellow SHARAD team members had made multiple unsuccessful attempts to observe the area suspected of hosting a buried lake. Then the scientists partnered with the spacecraft's operations team at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Southern California, which leads the mission to develop the Very Large Roll capability. Because the radar's antenna is at the back of MRO, the orbiter's body obstructs its view and weakens the instrument's sensitivity. After considerable work, engineers at JPL and Lockheed Martin Space in Littleton, Colorado, which built the spacecraft and supports its operations, developed commands for a 120-degree roll, a technique that requires careful planning to keep the spacecraft safe to direct more of SHARAD's signal at the surface. Bright signal. On May 26, SHARAD performed a very large roll to finally pick up the signal in the target area, which spans about 12.5 miles or 20 kilometers and is buried under a slab of water ice, also 1 mile or 1,500 meters thick. When a radar signal bounces off underground layers, the strength of its reflection depends on what the subsurface is made of. Most materials let the signal slip through or absorb it, making the return faint. Liquid water is special in that it produces a very reflective surface, sending back a very strong signal. Imagine pointing a flashlight at a mirror. That's the kind of signal that was spotted from this area in 2018 by a team working with the Mars Advanced Radar for Subsurface and Ionospheric Sounding, or MARSIS, instrument aboard the ESA, European Space Agency's Mars Express orbiter. To explain how such a body of water could remain liquid under all that ice, scientists have hypothesized it could be a briny lake, since high salt content can lower water's freezing temperature. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Continuing, we've been observing this area with SHARAD for almost 20 years without seeing anything from those depths, said Putzig. But once MRO achieved a very large roll over the precise area, the team was able to look much deeper, and rather than the bright signal Marsis received, SHARAD detected a faint one. A different, very large roll observation of an adjacent area didn't detect a signal at all, suggesting something unique is causing a quirky radar signal at the exact spot Marsis saw a signal. The lake hypothesis generated lots of creative work, which is exactly what exciting scientific discoveries are supposed to do, said Morgan. And while this new data won't settle the debate, it makes it very hard to support the area of a liquid water lake. Alternative explanations. Mars' south pole has an ice cap sitting atop heavily cratered terrain, and most radar images of the area below the ice show lots of peaks and valleys. Morgan and Putzig said it's possible that the bright signal Marsis detected here may just be a rare, smooth area, an ancient lava flow, for example. Both scientists are excited to use the very large roll technique to re-examine other scientifically interesting regions of Mars. One such place is Medusae Fossae, a sprawling geologic formation on Mars' equator that produces little radar return. While some scientists have suggested it's composed of layers of volcanic ash, others have suggested the layers may include heaps of ice deep within. If it's ice, that means there's lots of water resources near the Martian equator, where you'd want to send humans, said Putzig. Because the equator is exposed to more sunlight, it's warmer and ideal for astronauts to live and work. More about MRO. NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Southern California manages MRO for the agency's Science Mission Directorate in Washington as part of NASA's Mars Exploration Program portfolio. Lockheed Martin Space in Denver built MRO and supports its operations. SHARAD was provided to the MRO mission by the Italian Space Agency, or ASI. And that's it for that bulletin for this evening. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Let's see. Just looking down the list right there. For a couple other check-ins over on, let's see, all right, there we go. I'll take check-ins over the air in a little bit. I'll take them over the air after the rocket report. So if you're out there and are on YouTube or NetLogger, I'll check you in then as I see it. But I'll take check-ins over the air after the rocket report. We got, let's see, Mike, WB9YPA, thanks for checking in tonight. And Ed, W6RDZ, thanks for checking in tonight. And Steve, KM6VAY, thanks for checking in tonight. Let's see. So thanks for that. Right now is the time for the rocket report, which will be presented by Ed, W6RDZ. Good evening to you, Ed. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Are you ready to present the rocket report, Ed? Go ahead.
Good evening, Bernard, and good evening Yes, I can do the rocket report tonight. I'll just launch right in, and then when I take a break, you can tell me how the audio is. All right, this is the report for tonight, the 25th. It goes back a week, looking back at our launches, the 18th and 14th of the 2nd. The worldwide launch cadence remains brisk, still about one launch per day. I'm looking for it to pick up before the end of the year. It usually goes crazy with everybody trying to get their launch in, so they said they were going to launch in 2025. But as yet, we're still chunking along at a good clip, about 7 or 8 a week. We're still on track for a record 310 launches this year. This week, we saw 8 launches, 3 SpaceX, 3 China, 1 Rapid Lab, and 1 Russian. Give me a audio check there, Logan, please.
Ed, you're solid copy tonight. Solid copy. No worries at all. Go ahead. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net.
What do you think? Calling Bergen for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Did you copy?
Ed, I just responded. I don't know what's going on, but I did respond to you. You were solid copy over the air. Please go ahead. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net.
All right, Bert, W6RD's in back with the rocket report. I don't know what happened there. I heard both your last response, not the first one. All right, first launch a week ago, Tuesday, November 18th, 21:01 Mountain Standard Time. China Fantastic successfully launched a Long March 2 rocket from the Quan Satellite Launch Center in China. The Xi'an 30-18 mission consists of 3 satellites entered the low Earth orbit for space environment measurement purposes. Second launch, Thursday, November 20th, Rocket Lab launched the Follow My Speed mission on an electron purity rocket at 0553 Mountain Standard Time from pad LC-1A in the Bahia Peninsula of New Zealand. It was Black Sky Global 33 mission, and this was the third of 5 Black Sky technology missions deploying one of its new next generation Gen 3 satellites. The commercial constellation has the capability to produce images of 50 nanometer resolution and host multiple spectral sensors, including shortwave infrared. Also on Thursday, November 20th, at 20:09 Mountain Standard Time, SpaceX launched the Starlink Route 6-78 mission at launching from LC-39A, Kennedy Space Center, Florida. 29 Starlink V2A internet satellites joined the Starlink constellation in low Earth orbit. The launch marked the milestone of 100 launches from the Florida Space Coast this year. Reset the repeater there. All right, W6RDZ back with the rocket report. Fourth launch this week Friday, November 21st at 03:55 Mountain Standard Time, China. Aerospace and Science Corporation, or CASIC, launched a Long March 3E/E rocket from LC2 at Jichang Satellite Launch Center in China. The Long March 3E boosted the TJS-21 mission. That's a single Chinese classified satellite claimed to be for communication testing, technology test purposes. That went into a highly elliptic hole in the orbit. All right, brings us to launch 5, Saturday, November 22nd at 00:53 Mountain Standard Time. SpaceX successfully launched Starlink Group 6-79 on a Falcon 9 from Splitport in Cape Canaveral, Florida. 29 starts once over in orbit. And sixth launch of November 20. Mountain Standard Time, SpaceX launched Starlink Group 11-30 on a Falcon 9 party forward and with the maintenance flight and booster 1100 and SpaceX 156th mission of 2025 will be set to Alright, W6RGZ back with the rocket report for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Second launch of China's successful launch of an Shenzhou to the Chinese gone space station. The Shenzhou 22 capsule is the replacement for the damaged Shenzhou 20 capsule, which remains docked at the station. The 3 Chinese astronauts on board the station and will have a way to get back to Earth when their 6-month rotation is finished. The launch occurred Monday, November 24th at 21:11 Mountain Standard Time. China successfully launched a rescue Shenzhou 20 spacecraft on a Long March 2S/G rocket from pad SL1 at the Jichang Satellite Launch Center in China. The current crew launched to the station in the Shenzhou 21 spacecraft on October 31st. After the crew's arrival, the old crew prepared to return to Earth on November 5th in their Shenzhou 20 capsule. During preparation, they discovered a viewport window was cracked by impact with space debris. Catholics determined that the damaged Shenzhou 20 was not safe for a crew's reentry. November 14th, the old crew took the new crew's Shenzhou 21 spacecraft and returned to Earth. That left the new crew marooned on the station. The arrival of the uncrewed Shenzhou 22 spacecraft at the Taikon Space Station now resolved that issue. The damaged Shenzhou 20 remains docked at the station for a reset there. The 6 RDZ back with the rocket report. Last launch of the week this morning, Tuesday, November 25th at 06:42 Mountain Standard Time. Russia launched an undisclosed Cosmos mission on an Angara 1.2/ETS RF rocket, launching from the Placentia Cosmodrome in Russia. The payload was undisclosed. All right, here we go with this week's launch. Tomorrow, Wednesday, Saturday, November 29th at 19:59 Mountain Standard Time. SpaceX intends to launch Starlink Group 15-10 on a Falcon 9, leaving Slick 4 Vandenberg, California. We'll reset the repeaters here. W6, I already said, back with the rocket report for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Fifth launch here, looking at November 30th, that's Sunday at 10:21 Mountain Standard Time. Ariane Space plans to launch the COMSAT-7 mission on the Pegasus rocket from French Guiana. It is a South Korean satellite and a south going, and it is a lightweight Earth observation satellite, and that will be headed to some synchronous orbit. Launch 6, SpaceX intends to launch Starlink Group 6-86 from the LC-39A Kennedy Space Center on Sunday, November 30th at 2200. Tuesday, December 2nd at 11:56 Mountain Standard Time, SpaceX plans to launch Starlink Group 11-25 from Slick 4 at Vandenberg Space Force Base. And our last and eighth launch is scheduled for Tuesday, again on Tuesday, December 2nd at 13:16 Mountain Standard Time. SpaceX hopes to launch Starlink Group 50-95 from Slick 40 Cape Canaveral. All right, I'm gonna pause there and see if I can get us any window. Oh, come on. All right, and wondering, Bernard, and you know if Dave AS0AS will be recording on Starship tonight?
Ed, funny you should say that. You came on earlier. Let's see. No, you posted that. He is listening tonight. I saw that. He's over on. I think Dave is over on YouTube tonight. So. He's over on YouTube tonight, so he won't be able to present Starship information tonight.
All right, Bernard, sorry about that delay. I'm having trouble getting all this buttons pushed here. Buttons pushed. The big news of the week, big news which we already covered it with the rescue of the Chinese astronaut. And, but the second big news is that the booster that was ended for our next flight of Starship here. There were no propellants on board. They pressurized that, and then things exploded. Not a big ball of flame, conflagration thing. It just blew out the side of it because it was filled with inert nitrogen. So that's a big setback. Most of the speculation from the way, from what you can see from the pictures and such, the best bet is that another COPV or composite pressure
All right, Ed, appreciate you doing the rocket report tonight. Let's see, lots of good information there. So I did post the link to the rocket report, which has links embedded in it, both on YouTube and over in the the AIM window on NetLogger. So got you got you taken care of there. We had a few other check-ins, checking in via YouTube and NetLogger here. I'm just checking on a few things. Let's see. Who do we got? Let's see. We got Ed and I got Steve. Matt, KE0LNU, thanks for checking in tonight. Chuck, WB4AIZ, thanks for checking in tonight. Jack, KE0VH, thanks for checking in tonight. Let's see. Oh, that's interesting. Thanks for the link. As the link posted on ki0ar.com did not work. Huh. That should have, unless I messed it up there, Moy. I'll check on that. That should be the link, unless I typoed somewhere. All right. I'll go ahead and pause here for anyone else for any other check-ins before we go down the list. Got a long list tonight, so I'm going to be kind of quick on the trigger tonight. Anyone else wishing to check into tonight's Colorado Astronomy Net, please call with your call sign phonetically twice.
Victor 81, Michael Sierra, Y1, Michael. Utah. Cheers. Whiskey 5, Alpha Lima Charlie. Whiskey 5, Alpha Lima Charlie. No traffic. November 2, Kilo November Echo. November 2, Kilo November Echo. No traffic. Kilo Fox 5 with Charlie with. Kilo Fox 5 with Charlie with. No traffic.
Okay, nice little flurry of activity there, so thanks for that. Mike, BY1MGS, thanks for checking in tonight. John, W5ALC, thanks for checking in tonight. David, N2KNE, I do believe, thanks for checking in tonight. And Brian, KF5WCW, thanks for checking in tonight. N2KNE, looks like a first time check-in. Down in Texas there, so thanks for that. Name here is Bernus. That's Bravo, Uniform, Romeo, November, Echo, Sierra, Sierra, call sign Kilowatt India 0, Alpha, Romeo. You found the Colorado Astronomy Net. So I always like to touch base with my first time check-ins. Find out a little bit more about your background interest in astronomy, whether you're just starting out, wondering what's up in those night skies, or you've been doing it for decades like I have and enjoying every minute of it, so to speak. David, N2KNE, welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net. Please share with us what your interest background in astronomy is. Go ahead.
I just enjoy looking at the stars, learning new things. No professional interest in astronomy. I'm more into engineering. Anyway, field number, Echo. Out.
All right. right, David. Do appreciate you checking in tonight. Now's the time for right now. Just getting ready to start going down the list from everybody. Questions, comments. Let's see. Questions, comments, observation reports. I'd love to hear what you guys are looking at up in the skies from all over the world. Mostly here right tonight, the States. We do have Graham over in Scotland, but I've got 30 countries here that have checked in before, not all at once. That'd be nice. But from all over the world, especially I like to hear them from down under. We don't have any down under check-ins tonight, but kind of missed those fellas. This is posed for everybody listening over on YouTube. If you've got any observation reports or any questions or quick notes you'd like to post over there, I'll try to keep an eye on that as we go down the list. You know who you are over there on YouTube, so thanks for that. But we'll start with our let's see, Dave. I didn't hear Dave. Let's see, he said he'd just be listening tonight. AF0AS. What have you got for us tonight, Dave? Go ahead. Next on the list is Roy up in Oregon, KI7PKL. Good evening to you, Roy. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Well, good evening, Bruce, and everybody on the net. Well, the only good thing I can say about all this rain is that maybe this time it will actually put out the fires for once and good and for all of that. And maybe we won't have any smoke someday when it clears up again. So anyway, just enjoying the net on a rainy night. Back to you, KI7, Miguel.
All right, Roy. Let's see. I'm going to put in a plug for you. I know there was one of our new check-ins that was interested in astrophotography, so I can't remember who that is right off the hand. I think it's over on. There we go. That was George in Oregon. WB6YZZ. You do astrophotography since 2000, but I think there's someone else that was looking to do that as well. So check out Roy's QRZ webpage, KI7PKL over on QRZ. A lot of great pictures, and I borrow some of those for the newsletter, so which I need to get working on for next month. So Roy, appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Next on the list is Thomas in Tennessee, KN4EWT. Good evening to you, Thomas. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. Next on the list is Moy down in Texas, N5ZIQ. Good evening to you, Moy. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
N5ZIQ. Good evening, Martin. How are y'all doing from Houston, Texas? We're finally glad to get rid of the clouds and rain for a couple of days. Looks like it's going to come back for the weekend, but enjoying a couple of clear nights down here. So coming up on the first quarter of moon, so it's not too bright to see a few things up above us. But the moon is very interesting. I wanted to share that if you looked at the edges of the moon, I think you mentioned earlier, you look at the edges of the moon, you can see the very rough surface at the edge of the crest of the moon there. And it's for that before you keep something clear.
All right, boy, appreciate that. Glad you're taking a look at the moon there along the terminator there. Actually, that's one of my favorite times to look at the moon during the early phases, early and late phases, I should say, before first quarter and after last quarter moon. Um, when you can get a lot of the feel for the depth of the almost 3D, like I said earlier, viewing of the moon along the terminator and seeing the differences along that particular line. Yeah. So, all right, Moy, thanks for sharing that. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Next on the list is David in Ohio, WE8M. Good evening to you, David. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Burner, this is WE. Yeah, I haven't been doing a whole lot with astronomy the last week or so, but I've been going through a lot of my old images that, see, I'm a relative newcomer to the field of astrophotography, and I've only been doing it with my C-Star F30 and F50, and I just discovered a book that will help really go through the learning curve for image processing, and I just really feel the need to plug this book. It's called Astrophotography Image Processing with Raxford, Cyril, and Gimp, and it's written by Max Dobris, and it's available on Amazon, and this is really helping me get over through the learning curve for image processing. I highly recommend it to anyone that's just getting into it with their C-Stars. It's published for DSLRs at camera C-Star and Dwarf 3. So anyway, that's my 2 cents for what it's worth. 73, guys, and have a good night to the net. WE8.
All right, David, thanks for sharing that. Yeah, I know Roy's does a lot of that image processing too, and be sure he'd be happy to share some of his techniques as well. But like you said, there's a book out there. I'll have to go back and listen to my own YouTube presentation to get all of that information there, but I appreciate you sharing that with us. And oh, let's see. Appreciate your comments and appreciate you checking in tonight. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Next on the list is Ken in Nevada, NV7SS. Good evening to you, Ken. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, Berners. NV7SS here in Indian Springs, Nevada, where it is perfectly clear outside, Berners. I'll tell you, these winter nights, the stars are just so bright out there. The Orion always amazes me how it just stands out there, and just beautiful out there. You can see it straight overhead there. I went out to look at the moon, and I went out too late. It's too low in the horizon there, and into the trees. So I didn't get to see that. But I'll try to do it again tomorrow or earlier. So, but then again, it'll be getting closer to half there. But anyway, there, Berners. Thanks for being there at the net. Always enjoy listening to you and listening to everybody else with their comments. It's a great net to be on there. So anyway, take care, Berners. Until next time. NV7SS, back to the net. Thanks again for being here, Berners.
All right, Ken, you take care as well. Appreciate that. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Next on the list is Chad in Highlands Ranch, KF0UUC. Good evening to you, Chad. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. Next on the list is Mark up in Longmont, K0GLR. Good evening to you, Mark. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Following you guys for several months now. I've had life for over 10 years. And I just enjoy every Tuesday night to checking out, picking up some dinners for the week, and listening to the Astronomy Net. I cannot say that I have applied all of the information that I've received from him, but I do enjoy listening to the Astronomy Net.
All right, Mark. Yeah, I turned up the volume a little bit. You kind of a weak signal, but we caught most of that. I turned up the volume so we could hear that, and you could hear that over on YouTube as well. Caught everything there, and appreciate your comments and appreciate you checking in tonight. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Next on the list is Stephen up in Wisconsin, KA9OMY. Good evening to you, Steve. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Well, we've been very busy. We're doing a lot of medical stuff with the waves. That's why I've not had time to, do any observing or anything at night. But thanks for doing the net. It really sounded a lot of good information in there. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Back to you, K9OMY.
All right, Stephen, no worries. Yeah, taking care of the family and yourself is definitely more important than getting out there and looking at the stars. They'll be there for quite a few more millennia, that's for sure. But yeah, definitely take care of number one first, and then yourself and everybody else, for sure. So understand that. No worries. No worries there. No worries whatsoever. All right, Stephen, appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Next on the list is Randall up in Washington, AE7RJ. Good evening to you, Randall. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. Okay, this is for all of you guys over on YouTube tonight. We got Mike, KO5AOK. We got Graham, MM1DEA. We got Trevor Lee 56. We got John. Well, John, you usually check in. I'll get to you in a sec. We got Seth Simmerjack in Texas. We got John up in Washington, KJ7AGQ. Who else we got? We got Tom in Texas, KJ5MCI. Konstantinos up in Chicago, KB9ORA. And we got George in Oregon, WB6YZZ. Listening in over on YouTube. So if you've got anything to share with the net, observation reports, what have you, definitely post them over in the YouTube chat. If you can hop on the air, let me know over on the YouTube. If you've got Echolink or All-Star or something like that that you can check in with, I'd love to have you. I hear you over on the net as well. John is double teaming me here. We're going to get back to John right now. W2JLS, good evening to you, John. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
This is W2JLS. Good evening, Bernie, and to everyone out there listening in on the Colorado Astronomy Net. Good to hear everybody tonight. It does look like you got a nice group in the YouTube window. That's cool, too. A couple of shares tonight. So one, I will say I was driving down to the Ohio State University, as they like to call it here in Ohio. I think it's their official name. And it was 2 nights ago, and it was very dark and clear, and enjoyed watching this little sliver of a crescent moon inching its way down the horizon. I was looking at it and driving south and west. It was really just a beautiful shot of that as it slipped to the horizon and got darker and darker, just a little sliver of the crescent. I'll share that. And also, as I like to do, but just dig in on today's date. I do have an interesting share there. Nice slice of early space exploration. On this date, 76 years ago, 1949, the United States launched a really kind of a strange rocket configuration, but it was kind of an exploratory situation. It was a series of launches, part of what they called back then Project Bumper. And I'll post these in the AI window for those of you who are computer. I'm not sure what our time limit is here, so 11 seconds. Okay, so yeah, so this thing, imagine it's a German V2 missile on the bottom, and then perched on top of it, they stuck this toothpick, like balanced on a telephone pole, is the way it's been described. It's a little tiny American rocket. At the time was called the wax corporal. So you've seen pictures of this probably, where you've got this little skinny toothpick on top of a telephone pole looking rocket. These were the Project Bumper mission rockets. But anyway, they were trying to answer, could we do multi-stage rocket launches back then? It was still new. It had to start someplace, and that's where it started for us. And so this day, 76 years ago, they did Bumper 7. That launch was generally good, but they did the second stage it failed to activate. A little bit of a bummer there. But earlier the same year, in February, Bumper 5 did actually have a successful division, and stage 2 went off successfully. Kind of one of the things that I was researching that struck me as a WAC, I immediately thought of Women's Army Corps, but it's not. It was WAC stood for, in the context of the rockets without attitude control. Those versions didn't have stabilization systems, is what I was reading. And then the idea of WAC corporal apparently at the time, the United States named rockets and missiles after enlisted rank individuals, their rank office. Thought that was kind of neat too. Okay, and just one other share relative to this whole bumper story. Like bumper 8, which happened in, I think it was in July of 1950, was the first rocket, first ever. Okay, not just the bumper mission rocket, but that was the first rocket ever launched from Cape Canaveral, which at the time was not even called Cape Canaveral. It was called Launch Complex 3, part of the Long Range Proving Ground. I thought that was kind of a neat little piece of history to share there. Anyway, with that, I will pass it on back. Thanks for having me tonight. Again, really good to hear everybody in the air. W2, JLS, right back to you, Ernest.
All right, John, appreciate you sharing that with us. Yeah, definitely interesting to the fledgling space program back in the 40s there for sure, um, and seeing what we were doing with the German technology as well. Just you know, and what they did with that and expanded upon it when they could in the 50s, late 40s and 50s, and then on into and just think. A little over a decade later, or a decade and a half, well, yeah, 69, 2 decades, we're putting men on the moon after those rockets there. So, and hopefully we'll get back to the moon soon enough. But all right, John, I appreciate you sharing that with us. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Um, and I was just looking at some the metrics over on YouTube there. We got 11 likes. Great bunch. Great turnout tonight over on YouTube. So thanks for that. And we got a whole bunch more subscribers there. I did break 100, so I got 102 last I saw. So that's cool. That's cool. Very cool there. And for those of you who do have NetLogger, John just posted a link there with some of that information as well. So check that in the AIM window. We'll go back down to next on the radio here. Doug, K0ATP in Parker. Good evening to you, Doug. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. All right, next on the list is Steve. Again, welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net, Steve. VA3NFG. Good evening to you, Steve. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. Next on the list is Mike up in Alaska, KL7FR. Good evening to you, Mike. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
KI0AR and your astronomy net. Is KL7 frozen radio. 520 and that time of year. Good thing about sub-zero weather is the skies are usually clear. We had a little bit of auroral activity last night. Wasn't much, but I went out at 10:30, 11 p.m. and there was a band of aurora across the sky. Little colors, greens and reds. It wasn't very spectacular. It looked more like it knocked loose some cloud. And if I'd gone out later, it might have got better. It seems like the best light shows are ago, one of my friends up in Talkeetna, about 45 miles north of me, sent me a text that the lights are out. It's a good show. And she sent me a picture too. Nice towering columns, multicolored lights. I was like, wow. I ran outside to look. From my vantage point, there was a line of aurora across the sky, but same thing, more like a non-pollution cloud. It wasn't towers. It wasn't moving very much. I was surprised to see that much variation in 45 miles or a few degrees in latitude. But I'll keep looking. It's sub-zero now, dropping. So the good thing about sub-zero, got clear night skies. Bad thing about sub-zero, it's hard for me to peel my butt out of this comfy chair in a 68-degree ham shack, look at the sky. But I'm going to go check it out, look for the lights. I always like seeing the northern lights. That's one of the benefits of living up here. Got to tolerate some cold temper. Oh, I timed out my HT and then my note had to tell me my call sign. Anyway, great net tonight as always, Bernice. Glad to get back in here. I've been pretty busy lately, so I've been checking in. I lurk and listen once in a while, but I always love the Colorado Astronomy Net. Love the astronomy bulletin and especially the rocket report. Ooh, on a sidebar, my son just got the Starlink system in, so we're going to install the dishy and start looking for the constellation, try to get connected to Starlink. So I know astronomers hate all those Starlink satellites zipping across the sky, but I'm going to try to connect to them. And cool links from the Rocket Man, like that PDF on the Rocket Report, and then some other interesting links too. So good, always good stuff on the Colorado Astronomy Net. You guys get me spaced out every time. Thanks for the net, Bernice, Ed, Rocket Man, and everybody that's chiming in and launching the net. Always a good time in here. So thanks for taking a check in. Hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving. Keep your eyes on the skies. KO7 Frozen Radio, back to net control.
All right, Mike, first off, stay warm. And yeah, about 2 weeks ago, yeah, we had all that auroral activity. We actually saw some here down in Colorado. We even got reports from some of our Texas check-ins that they were seeing some auroral activity, even down that far south as well, even down to Paris, Texas area. So yeah, that was something, and that was several days worth of auroral activity. Yeah, we don't get to see too much movement this far south as far as the auroral activity is. Yeah, we're all jealous that you're up there. Maybe not that jealous about the cold weather, but definitely about seeing the auroral activity for sure. There, Mike. I appreciate you sharing that with us. Always great to hear you too, Mike, from up in Alaska there. Stay warm. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Next on the list is Mike in Indiana. WB9YPA. Good evening to you, Mike. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Yes, good evening, Ernest. request that you would have like tutorial on your website for how to clean. Maybe you do have that, and I haven't found it, but it's like a tutorial on how to clean your optics.
Mike, yeah, I do not have that on my website, but I'd gladly post it there. Like I said, I'm in the process of getting December's newsletter all written up, and you send me that link, and I will add it to my list of links for sure there, Mike. Go ahead.
Don't have a link. No, I think I can still link. Yeah, that shouldn't be too hard. But yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, exactly. I think the big deal is distilled water, obviously, and I think what alcohol. Maybe I don't know. That might be too harsh for the coatings. For those coated reflectors and that kind of stuff. But I'm sure you've probably been through that dozens of times, on cleaning the lenses and all that stuff.
Yeah, Mike, a couple of times with the distilled water and the cotton balls and being real careful with it have helped my buddy Jim N0COT, who's our fearless leader for the International Association for Astronomical Studies. I've been helping him out for longer than I've been running the net. I've been working with him since '89. I got my license again in 1990. So I've been helping him out with that group for quite some. No, it was '95. I got my license back. So yeah, I've been helping him for 6 more years than I've had my license again. Yeah, or if you've got a paper on it or something like that, I'll turn it. If you've got a PDF or something like that, I'd be happy to take that and create the link for that. No worries there. So if you've got a doc in a PDF format, you can send that to me for sure, and I'll happily post that on the site, Mike. So there you go.
Okay, that sounds great. Yeah, I will work on that and think of that. So hey, that sounds great. Yeah, that's all I've got. And a happy Thanksgiving to all that have to be on the. Very good. Until next time, this is WB9Y. Back to net control.
All right, Mike. Appreciate you sharing that with us. Yeah, I just send me the doc via an email. No worries there, and we'll get it all set up. But yeah, I'll be happy to share whatever anybody else would like, especially images. If you've got some images that you'd like to share, I got a whole bunch from my students from the IAAS on what they saw out in Strasbourg with the auroral activity a couple weeks ago, and several other you guys sent me some images too. So if I can, I'll have to figure out how I can collect them and make them maybe into a little slideshow or something like that. It means I got to sit down here and work some more on my computer. But this is the time to do that. So I always like to share stuff on that, and I'll definitely give you credit for it for sure. All right. Mike, appreciate your sharing that with us. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Next on the list is Ed out in Broomfield, W6RDZ. Good evening to you, Ed. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. Oh, he missed one transmission last time. I'm going to try again. W6RDZ, Ed, what have you got for us tonight? Go ahead. Next on the list is Steve up in Fort Collins, KM6VAY. Good evening to you, Steve. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. Next on the list is Matt in Golden, KE0LNU. Good evening to you, Matt. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. Next on the list is Chuck down in Florida, WB4AIZ. Good evening to you, Chuck. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. And we got Jack over on YouTube listening in, so thanks for that, Jack. If you got anything, you can pass that along. I already plugged your Captain Jack Flight Sim station. Just wondering when you're going to be back doing that. So if you're still listening and you want to post, hopefully you'll be on doing that again. I'll let everybody know. But definitely, Jack, appreciate you checking in. Next on the list is Michael up in Canada, VY1MGS. Good evening to you, Mike. What have you got for the net tonight? Next on the list is John down in Pueblo, W5ALC. Good evening to you, John. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. Is this thing on? Next on the list is David down in Austin, Texas there. N2 KNE. Good evening to you, David. Again, welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net. What have you got for us tonight? Go ahead. We got Brian down in Buena Vista, KF5 WCW. Good evening to you, Brian. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. All right, we got Don up in Fort Collins, W9 BPZ. We got you checked in, Don, and you're up. What have you got for us tonight? Go ahead. All right, it must be past everybody's bedtime now. Don't blame them. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. I'll go ahead and open up the net for anybody else, questions, comments, late check-ins. If you are a late check-in, and I haven't already, and I acknowledged you, please call with your call sign phonetically twice. Anybody else, questions, comments, late check-ins, please call KI0AR now.
Kilo 5 Romeo Uniform November. Kilo 5 Romeo Uniform November. Late check-in and a question.
I was just waiting to see if I heard something else in there. But Phil, we got you on the list. K5, are you in? Thanks for checking in tonight. Go ahead with your question, Phil. Go ahead.
Thank you, Brian. I just got my first telescope, 70 millimeter refractor, so entry level telescope, but I took it out tonight and saw the moon, and I saw a planet that I'm not sure what I was looking at. I'm still trying to learn the sky. It was kind of in the high up in the northwest. And I think it was either Jupiter or Saturn. I saw kind of a band across the planet that didn't stick out on the sides of the planet like I thought Saturn would. So I wasn't sure what I was looking at. Maybe you could help me figure that out. This was about 6 o'clock in the evening here in North Texas. Any thoughts on that, Ernest? Thank you.
Okay, let me see. Northwest. Well, let's see. Northwest from Texas. We didn't see Pluto, that's for sure. Through a 70 millimeter refractor there. Saturn is going to be kind of more towards the south, and Jupiter towards the south, southeast. Anything northwest, you're not going to see any planets to the north. So you may want to get that direction corrected a little bit. Saturn is more towards the south, and right now Saturn's rings are almost edge on to us, so that about all you will see through a telescope is that very thin band, and then the rest is kind of lost. With a 70 millimeter, it's going to be a little trickier to see the detail. With Jupiter, you ought to see quite a few bands, as well as the Galilean moons. Even with a pair of binoculars, you could see those on either side. What I would recommend you do is either get a star chart or get one of those star programs. There's quite a few out there that will give you a better idea of what's in the night skies. What do I use? What do I use? Sorry about that. I actually use one that I pay for. It's only a couple bucks. Star Walk 2. I paid, I think, $3 or $4 for that one. And I like that. What you can do is you can point that up towards the sky and move your iPad or your iPhone or whatever. Just kind of shake it a little bit, and then it aligns to the night sky, which you're pointing at, especially the newer your newer iPhone type things will do that. My old one will do that as well. I'm gonna let this thing drop. Yeah, Phil. You were probably looking at Saturn if you just saw a very thin band across it, especially towards that southwest direction. Um, and you may want to check out, like I said, check out heavens-above.com as well, and check out the star chart. That's free. You can definitely check that out for where the planets are. I'm actually pulling that up right now. And yeah, that's towards, it'll give you the right ascension, declination, all that kind of stuff. And it'll pull up the constellation that it's in. You can see where it's at relative to the other stars. So try that, or, well, Saturn's still up. It'll be towards the southwest right now. Yeah, you're an hour ahead, so 10 o'clock. Let me pull my other one up and see where Saturn is right now. Just a second. Yeah, Saturn is southwest right now, still looking up. You might be able to even see Neptune at about the 10 o'clock position, and not too far away, or maybe about 11 o'clock position relative to where Saturn is. Um, through a telescope, you might be able to see a little bluish dot. If you see a bluish dot, Saturn is going to be almost edge on, or the rings are going to be almost edge on. So it's going to be, you may not be able to see too much detail, if at all, with the rings, but you'll see a very, very thin line right across the middle of it, and then three moons to the east of it and one to the west. Depends on how you're. It's a flipped image, so it's going to be a little bit different than that. So hopefully that helps there, Phil. Go ahead.
Yeah, that helps a lot. I think it sounds like Saturn was what I was looking at earlier. And yeah, I did use an app called Starfinder 3D. I guess I'm just not aligned yet with the sky and how to read these things with my phone and which way I'm looking at it and such. And, so I got some learning to do. I'll work on it, but yeah, I'll check out that Skywalk 2 and Heaven's Breath. So it was a start for me. I am having some problems aligning the finder scope, so I'm going to have to work on that too. But it's lots. Absolutely.
All right, Phil, just lost you for a sec, but you were having a trouble aligning the finder scope. I heard that. Yeah, Jupiter is just barely above the eastern horizon. It just rose a little while ago. So you'll be looking actually just almost due east, and slightly north of due east. And that's in the constellation of Gemini right now. So you can actually tell the difference between Saturn and Jupiter there. One recommendation: learn the night sky, learn where the North Star is, learn a little bit about which constellations are up right now. Some of the neat ones: Gemini, Orion, Taurus. Orion will be rising a little bit later. Yeah, there's Orion, just below Taurus. And some of the other more familiar, the pole constellations, the Little Dipper, the Big Dipper, Cetus, Cassiopeia, and see where they are relative to each other. Things like that. So you'll get oriented with the sky. The spotting scope is fairly easy. Take that scope out during the day or relatively early in the evening where you can see things, or point it at a street light that is about as far away as you can see. Focus the telescope first on that particular street light and get that centered in the telescope, and then adjust the spotting scope so that that particular image is dead center you probably have crosshairs in the spotting scope. That is going to be your best way to look at it. Or look at something as far away that you can recognize the top of a telephone pole, or something that's closer to a point. A street lamp is pretty good, or a light bulb somewhere, and then adjust the. You've got three little screws on your spotting scope there. And those three little screws are kind of counterintuitive. You got to loosen one to move another direction, and you got to tighten another one. Just be very sensitive and very aware of which ones you're turning which direction to loosen it up, and then to push the scope in the direction that you think you want it to go, because that image is upside down as well. So it's a little tricky, but yeah, get used to focusing on something about as far away as you can see through the telescope, and that'll get that spotting scope aligned for you, and then take it out and try it out as to what's up in the night skies, and then you can make finer adjustments with that then, but be very, very careful with moving those screws. The one thing about that scope, I am assuming that it is not computer controlled, so it makes it difficult at best to align with the star, trying to use the spotting scope and getting that aligned with a star. You want something that's not moving through space. You want something that's stationary to get that spotting scope aligned. Hope that helps, Phil. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Go ahead.
I appreciate the tips. I think when I tried to align it, I think my target was probably too close, but as far as available to me at that time, but it was a little too close probably. I'll look for something a little further out and try to set that alignment. So appreciate the tips for this K5RU.
All right, Phil, here's something that's not quite as optimal. If you're going to do it at night, look through your window, turn off the lights in your living room or back room, wherever, and look for a light that's fairly far away from the house. At least a couple of 100 yards. Quarter mile or maybe further if you can recognize it. And then on the spotting scope, the magnification obviously is going to be a lot less, so something that's kind of offset from a bunch of other lights. So you can try that. At least you're in the house, but you're going to get a slight distortion through looking through a window glass, because that's definitely not optical quality. But the best thing to do is to be outside, and if you do it in the daylight, that's optimal, but you can do it at night and with looking through the house lights, or open your window if you want to do it that way. That way, if you drop anything, it's on the floor. Hopefully it's not on shag carpet, but so that's another trick as well. So hopefully you'll get that aligned and get out there. Whatever tools you can use to learn the sky. A subscription to Astronomy Magazine, that's a good starter magazine. I actually use that. I still use that I still use that, and I've been getting that for over 40 years. So there you go. All right, Phil. It's getting late. It's getting real late, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the net for this evening. I'm going to let this thing reset, and then hopefully that helps you, Phil. Anybody else that's listening as well, so I appreciate that. I'm going to let this thing reset, and then I'm going to sign off. All right, Mini Mo in Vail, Arizona. Welcome. You caught the tail end of the Colorado Astronomy Net over there on YouTube. So welcome. If you could name here is Bernus. That's Bravo Uniform Romeo November Echo Sierra Sierra. So welcome. If you can post over on YouTube your first name there. If you have an amateur radio call sign, I'd love to do that. I do tally up the numbers. That is a new tag over on YouTube. So again, welcome. A late welcome. I'm just getting ready to sign out. So if I could get that from you, I'd certainly appreciate it. Over there, or if you want to post what's your interest, background in astronomy real quick, I'll hang on for another few minutes here. Another few minutes isn't going to hurt there. So I'll kind of open up the net. Anybody else? Questions, comments, late check-ins before I go ahead and wrap up the net for this evening? Please call KI0AR now.
And first, quick comment.
N5ZIQ, go ahead, Moy.
Hey, sir. Just a quick note for Mr. Phillips there, and what was it, K5 RUN, I believe. If he's going to look for Jupiter, you can look right to the east and a little bit up to the north, 0.070 degrees or so, just a little bit above the horizon here in Houston. And then Saturn, you get to the southwestern skies. It's probably kind of low right now. But it depends on if there's any light or any trees or anything like that. So it's right along the ecliptical plane. And the ecliptic plane there is a real good way to view where these planets are going to be. So that's another good suggestion for Mr. Phillips. All right, that's all I have. Have a good night. 7-3, 8-5, I'll be back.
All right, thanks for that, Mo. Moy, appreciate that. And yeah, Mo, first time listening, so welcome. Definitely give us a like and subscribe if you like. Got some other over there over there on YouTube, so do appreciate that. Great turnout from for our YouTube listeners there tonight, so I do appreciate that. What happened there? Let's see. Did I time out over on YouTube? I'm not sure. Yeah, I do appreciate everybody over there on YouTube tonight. Let's see. Even got several new subscribers. It broke 100 this evening, so that's fabulous. All right. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the net for this evening. I'd like to thank the 35 check-ins for checking in tonight. Let's see, how many new ones did we get? I got a bunch of new ones tonight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 ones, I think. 10 new check-ins tonight, so I do definitely appreciate that. Bunch of new subscribers as well, saw that. So thanks for that. I'd like to thank the Rocky Mountain Radio League for the use of their repeater system. I'd like to thank the Skyhub Link group, skyhublink.com, for more information on that, for the use of all the ways that you can check in over the air into the Colorado Astronomy Net. So thanks for that. With that, I will say 73 and keep looking up. This is KI0AR. I'm clear.